Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Now, it's Monty Gordo with GMP Lifetime. Thanks, Byran. It sounds so cool like that. Hola, Monty Algarve. Munson here with the Good Morning Portugal show, a live stream and the podcast. How are you? Byrandy is in because rain has delayed play. That happened here as well on the Silver Coast. As I look out of the studio window, I can see, it's pretty rainy this morning. I have been out for a dog walk. 19 and a half nearly outside. So it's mild, but a little bit miserly rainy. And despite having a swim in the bay yesterday, it looks like, I'm not sure I can deny or ignore it much longer. It does feel quite autumnal. However, we may get that San Martino winter that we speak of here in Portugal. First week of November may be beautiful, a little summer reprieve. So let's see what happens there. And of course, it is the week of our San Martino Discover Portugal weekend. So that would be amazing, wouldn't it, if we have one of those truly San Martino de Porto, around the San Martino de Porto here. It would be really wonderful to have that coincide with people being here, Gumpers coming from all around the world, it would seem, on the 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th. The 6th being an immersion experience with Anna, who it was great to see you, Anna, yesterday at the meetup. And thanks to everybody else who came. Yeah, if you were thinking you were going to get a meetup alert yesterday, I just completely forgot to do that. It was quite a leisurely, laid-back one. It was great. We had a lot of fun, easygoing conversation, nice things to eat with Nelson, who will be closed, actually, during November, I discovered yesterday. And we're going to come up with some other ideas for our venue. Maybe we'll be more mobile in November. Maybe we'll have some walks along the beachfront, end up in Salero de Porto, maybe go up to the Smuggler's Tunnel. That's what I call it. I'm not sure if anyone else calls it that. But yeah, maybe we'll be more mobile in November for the meetups. Anyway, I hope you can make it to the Discovery weekend. We'll have a lot of fun hanging out with Gumpers. We're doing that this weekend, of course. And on, in October, we'll be in Tamar as well. That's shaping up nicely. And we're thinking of going to Coimbra, where we'll see the Christmas lights for the December, usually the second weekend of the month. So keep your eyes peeled for that. And maybe we'll have a little bit of festive cheer. In fact, it's silly saying that in Portugal, isn't it? As though festive cheer is only available in December. It's available pretty much every week and weekend, isn't it? But Christmas flavored festive cheer, second weekend of December, likely to be in Coimbra this year. That's where Mrs. M wants to have it. Anyone else got a good suggestion? And then, of course, for the rest of the year following 2024, we're going to be all over the country. I'm liking this Discovery weekend idea, and we're looking forward to having a cracking time with Bobby in Araoera this coming weekend. Maybe have a drink with you on the beach. Where's that beach shot I took when I was doing a recce there last Friday? Have I deleted that already? Surely not. Don't call me Shirley. Okay, there we go. Maybe you'll come and have a drink with us on Sunday on the beach here at Fonte de Telha, just south of Costa da Caparica and north of Sesimbra, Arabida, and that part of Portugal. You can see the other side of the Portuguese land mass across the water there, just to the right of the picture on the horizon. Beautiful. Okay, look forward to seeing you there. If you're coming, let's see what's happening today. Lots of pictures, a bulging picture deck this morning. Thank you, Veronica, who we'll see at 9. And Carl Hyde, of course, the man from the agency, at 9:30. It's all about the real estate, as it is, of course. I say, of course, this just announced as well. Now, on the 3rd of October, 8 p.m. This is a Portugal Club hosted webinar, and we'll see you there, I hope. If you have any interest at all in real estate, estate agency, the selling of homes, the renting of homes, come join or come and quiz our expert panel. Your questions answered, your concerns addressed. The idea, of course, of Antonio, Tony Time, Antonio Barbosa, who's with us, of course, for some Tony Time every month. And last time he was here, he suggested we might have a special webinar. And I think it's a great idea. We're going to move forward with that, and it will be October the 3rd. And you'll have him and Veronica and Carl have signed up, and Vito Costa as well, with their views on real estate generally, and the view from their part of the country, their particular patch and territory. So a date for your diary there, 3rd of October, 8 o'clock, a Portugal Club hosted expert panel webinar. You'll be able to get your questions answered and your concerns addressed. There he is, the man himself on the screen with his brainchild right there. Thanks, Antonio. That's such a good idea. Really looking forward to that. And I'm sure we can be very helpful to people, because there are concerns growing out there about well, certainly supply, how to I was going to say play the game of real estate. I guess in many ways it is a game, isn't it? But let's take as much of the stress out of it as possible by giving people some good expert insight on the 3rd of October, 8 p.m. Okay, thank you very much to Anna, the Swede in Portugal. I need to decode what you sent to me, not visually, but your comment this morning. Deagle's in, Pam's in. Morning, Pam. I think because it's raining, we've got a few more people in this morning. Bob's in as well, up in the north. Morning to you, Bob. How you doing? And James, of course. Dad jokes. There is a gaping dad joke void, isn't there, this morning, with the absence of T-Duck. He'll be back next week, along with the Kane Sabia and Deep Thoughts. That's not to stop you sharing a deep thought this morning or a dad joke. And we've got visuals and textual from the Banana Slug James this morning as well, which we'll come back to. Thank you, Anna. You were in this morning just before the show started. Super excited to finally do my teste diagnóstico de português in order for me to do the cursos de português para estrangeiros here in VRSA. Now, it sounds like we're not doing A2 here. We're doing a cultural test, possibly. Is this going beyond the realms of language in the A2? And you're doing a citizens course, or is this the A2 that you speak of here? Do let us know, Anna. And in your correspondence this morning, very thoughtful. I must say I have shared the same thought as you. Bom dia, you say. Let's share a view of Praia de Faro. Most of us just go to the airport in Faro, but it's a lovely beach area just close by. Now, I've thought this, and here are a couple of pictures, and we've got some video as well. It is beautiful. There you are in Faro, the town, which is a lovely town to wander around, go up to the old part, have a nice lunch up there. It's a fabulous little town. And not all airport towns can say that. Some of them are real holes, aren't they? Oh, morning, Jacqueline, as well. Jacqueline Branco's in. Good morning. We will catch up eventually, Jacqueline. Good morning to you. You have a good day too, and we'll see you soon. Veronica, thank you for your message, alerting us to the fact that you'll be with us at 9. And Antonio, looking forward to getting real on real estate in Portugal. Yes, it's quite a catchy little title, hasn't it? We'll be getting real on real estate in Portugal, 3rd of October, date for your diary. Now, there are people enjoying themselves. That's a takeoff, isn't it? I would have thought, with judging by the angle of the plane. Cabin to cross-check there, and away they go. Probably a little bit, if they're leaving Portugal, having been on holiday, probably a little bit crestfallen. And maybe they're Portuguese people flying to other parts of the world from Faro as well. But look at that. It's a beautiful scene there. Here's another shot from Anna. Thank you so much for your continued correspondence. Anna, the Swede in Portugal, people on stand-up paddleboards. Is that Nick from Algarve Addicts even there? And a little bit of a video as well to share with you. A few bits of video this morning. Here's some from Faro. I liked a bit of white noise there. There was an interesting soundscape there. I'm not sure if all of that was something that got added in translation. It was a bit fizzy, wasn't it, the sound quality? But you could definitely hear the sea and the aircraft as well. I quite like that. Although it does remind me of the time I nearly drowned in the beach off Singapore, near Changi. I think it's called Changi Airport, isn't it? And I was in the sea. I'm getting washed away in a strong current. Sounds like a proper boys' own adventure story. This, it was terrifying. I was 21 and I was in the sea, not unlike that scene there. And I was being washed away by a strong current, having not judged the waters before jumping in, and more responsible adults around me not alerting me to do so. Being washed away. And it was one of those times where I had to give myself a good talking to. I was starting to panic, and I thought, if you panic, you're going to die. So just float with the water and eventually you'll be rescued. Here comes the pier. You can grab hold of one of the legs of the pier. And as I was having all these thoughts, jumbo jets were flying overhead, not unlike the soundscape you just heard there. Not jumbo jets these days, of course, but a similar jet engine noise. Oh, happy times of Changi Beach. Character forming stuff. Thank you very much for that, Anna. And thank you to Veronica, who sent video too. An interesting, what is this? An official open, maybe an unofficial open house for a pocket listing, which will go live this weekend. So we're privy to some privileged information and property insight in the Algarve this morning too, staying there in the Algarve. We haven't got a try something Portuguese this morning. We've got a Portugal quiz question for you, which I will come to in just a moment. I'll turn down the studio monitor. I think it was feeding back a bit yesterday, so sorry about that. I was listening again to a brief history of Portugal. Can't recommend this book enough to you. If you like facts, if you just like soaking up facts about Portugal, this is the book for you. It's like I said, every sentence seems to be another new fact about Portugal. Another one. It's written in that style. It's like a necklace of facts all threaded together very cleverly and very intensively by Jeremy Black. There's not much story or poetry in there, really. But you do get a great sense of the history of Portugal, as the name might suggest. And some cultural insight, too. It's always great to learn more about Portugal, in my view. So enjoying that this morning whilst I was getting ready for the show, and I commend it to you. Let's go and see who else is here this morning. Suze is in, and Dougie. The video. I love this time of year in Portugal. Yeah, absolutely. Doug, it's nice and quiet, isn't it? And we're looking forward to having you back here in Portugal, of course, as soon as you're able. It's been a busy week of work and appointments and establishing a new routine as things restart for September. Yep, it's got back to school, isn't it? There's that back to school, whether you're school age or not, there's definitely something that happens in September that reminds us that the seasons are changing and our routines might be as well. Pam from Sue's, not a lot of rentals available there either, but I keep looking at Aveiro. Now to same thing. I must have missed a bit. I'll go back for some context. In fact, let's wind back and see what the God Squad tip of the day is as well from Coach Turner. I think I saw a 102-year-old sprinter on Twitter last night. Quite incredible, Coach Turner. I mean, you've got a good, I don't know, many decades ahead of you, and you can still be sprinting at 102. If the fella I was watching last night is anything to go by. Amazing. Bon dia todos from the Slug at 10 minutes past 8. One of the wise men of the Gompocalypse. We're missing one this week. He'll be back on Monday. Feliz Quinta, como está? Tudo bem? Muito obrigado. Muito bem. Contigo, meu amigo. Do you want a box for your leftovers? Nah, I hate violence. You can have them. I think we have had that before, but we never complain about regurgitating or recycling a dad joke. And just so James asked me last night, what is the best time to share material with you so it doesn't get forgotten? And now I'm looking for it. I can't see it. I'm gonna do it now. Please, sorry about this. Bear with. I'm gonna do it right now, so we don't get this forgotten this morning. There isn't a good time. On the one hand, it is great to have it fresh in the memory. Like, send it in now. It's like, oh, well, I better deal with that. But then I might forget in the heat of the moment. There isn't an ideal time, really. I'm sorry to say. Thank you for that. Yeah, do you want a box for your leftovers? Think about it. Nah, I hate violence. You can have a box for them. And I've never been in a country where I've asked for leftovers more than I have here in Portugal. Two reasons. One, because it's culturally acceptable. Portuguese people, I believe, generally speaking, hate wasting food and will be very glad to give you a queijo para lavar for your takeout of what you can't eat. And it's lovely to have a little reheat, isn't it, later on in the day or next morning. And yeah, the other thing is, what was it? One is culturally acceptable. I can't remember what the other one is now. Anyway, that's just a good enough reason, isn't it? But it is fine to ask for you. Oh yeah, and the portion size. That was the other reason. Often the portions are very generous. Even for your 7, 8, 9, 10 quid prato de dia, there may be leftovers from that incident, that cultural nutritional incident, and you can take stuff home with you. And you won't need to box for it. You will need a box for it, if you see what I mean. Your visual dad joke before I forget again this morning, and nicely done, Banana Slug. Your comment is catching up the punchline. We like that. Do you know what? This is from the Star Wars set of dad jokes and visual memes. I once threw a ball for my dog. That's nice. Wait for it. Yeah, it was a bit extravagant, but he looked great in a dinner jacket. Made him laugh anyway. Okay. Bon dia then from Coach Turner. Bon dia, my Gumper friends this morning. Hold on a minute. Let's get that. That shouldn't be on the screen for any longer than it deserves, quite frankly. Bon dia, my Gumper friends. We had a deluge last night with water spouting out of some drains. All very exciting. Much calmer today. So a walk to Coffee beckons. I hope you're feeling better as well this morning, Coach T. And you say God Squad tip of the day. We'll come back to. Oh yeah, we've done your comment, and we're yet to find out what your diagnostic Portuguese test is. Sweden, Portugal, Anna. God Squad tip of the day. The UK government recommends 30 minutes of physical activity every day. And I imagine some civil servant wrote that, sat at a desk, did they not? The UK government recommends 30 minutes of physical activity every day. I believe that's a bare minimum. And if you're listening on the podcast, that doesn't mean you should do it naked. Bare minimum, as in the absolute minimum, to maintain a level. An hour a day will help improve your fitness and health. And as I think you were saying this morning, as you continue to say here, Coach Turner, and thank you for your continued correspondence on the matter. What does that mean in practice? Well, 10,000 steps will take you about 90 minutes. So while that's a good target, you don't need to go that far. So a balance, an hour of activity. Or the life hack, and I think we've talked about this, haven't we? If you think to yourself, oh, I've got to go and do 10,000 steps now, it's going to take me an hour and a half. That is not a baby step approach, is it? That is a recipe for a day after day, day on day, thinking, oh, I really don't feel like 90 minutes of exercise right now. Break it down, or better still, create a lifestyle. Evolve your lifestyle so it's more active. A walk to the shops every day instead of a drive. A walk to meet friends every day instead of being at home alone, perhaps. There are ways of integrating this to make it seamless and enjoyable, and barely noticing that you're doing it, because it becomes part of an appropriate and healthy and positive and enjoyable lifestyle, rather than, oh my God, look, I'll keep putting off my 90 minutes and 10,000 steps. So yeah, evolve and bring that into the conversation. Bob delighted by, like me, Coach T, with your continued support of us in this way. I always appreciate your encouragement for movement, Ian. Who doesn't like a good movement first thing in the morning? Just completed a 40. Yes, Veronica, good morning. Just completed a 40-minute walk with Gus whenever he stops for P-mail. Oh, that's really cute, isn't it? I didn't realize my dog was P-mailing when he stopped. Every flipping. I mean, male dogs, they're the worst, aren't they, for this? I've just got a P-mail coming in. I do. And then there's the more solid facts as well, isn't there, occasionally? I do some stretches. Oh, that's fantastic. If you see a gentleman, a handsome gentleman, it has to be said, in Ponte Lima, stretching while his dog urinates on the nearest tree or lamppost, it'll be Bob. Nothing to worry about. I do some stretches to complement the walking. Good start. Now, there's a really good example of integration and evolution and making things enjoyable and fun. People will start pointing at you, Bob. You know that, don't you? There's that guy. There's that guy who stretches while his dog pees. But be careful you don't get into too contorted a yoga pose, because if Gus sees a cat and you're doing probably not a downward dog near a urinating other dog, that would be asking for trouble. I'm thinking if you're standing on one leg, saluting the sun or whatever you're doing, Bob, and Gus sees a cat and suddenly runs off, that is going to get you into another Gus-related injury. And lots of love to you, because I know you're recovering from the last similar incident with Gus. Gus, come on, I'm talking to you now, Gus. Be a bit more careful when you're pulling Bob around the place, okay? Especially when you're doing your P-mail and he's doing one of his stretches. Good work, Bob. Thank you for sharing that with us. And it's a bon dia a todos from you earlier on, Bob, as well. Sending you peaceful, calm, clarity, and recall as you test today. Thank you very much for that on behalf of Anna there, Bob. And you had a great day on the Rio Duro yesterday with Nazare, Sarah and Dan. Is that somebody called Nazare? How lovely. Beautiful and very relaxing. Oh. And I think you've got a busy one. You'll have to catch the program mostly on replay this morning today, Bob. That's great. And for those of you who try and slip that past me, like a certain lady yesterday at the meetup who was on the spot, I introduced her to Anna and said, oh, you probably know Anna from the show. Oh, I haven't been watching the show. Sorry. I'm not an early riser. You can do what Bob does and watch it later. It's up to you, of course. But I really don't mind. You don't have to, when anyone meets me in real life, you don't have to apologize for not watching the show. Really, you don't. But I would prefer it if you did. Or at least listen to the podcast, which is doing great. And one of the easiest ways, let me just show you this. One of the easiest ways to listen to the podcast or have it on in the background is to go to our homepage. Go to goodmorningportugal.com, which I'll bring onto the screen for you now. It's been recently rejigged. And it has our jolly graphics there, as you'll see when I do share that with you on the screen. Look, our new, it's not exactly a logo, but something I was messing around with. You'll see on the screen there is colours of the flag, of course, and the blue sky of Portugal. And that yellow is also a colour code from the flag. But if you press on GMP podcast, the second tab along on the row of tabs along the top there, eventually, and this is where we could look at the weather as well this morning. Eventually, you'll see all the recent episodes. Isn't that great? All the recent episodes of the Good Morning Portugal podcast. There's yesterday's, Baby Steps, and all the most recent ones as you scroll down. There's a lot, aren't there? I must be getting on for 1,500 now of podcasts. And thank you, Max Gravy, for your review there. This podcast is a must listen for every expat living in Portugal and anyone else who desires to live there. Isn't that lovely? And also the new Portugal quiz / try something Portuguese podcast as well. They're there. Should we just press the button and see what happens? Because we'll answer this question because Randy's here this morning. Does that come? Portugal quiz question of today, the 19th of September. There we go. The blessing of what happened in Portugal last weekend. An annual blessing took place last weekend in Fatima, which may surprise newcomers to the country. Once understood, however, the significance and appeal can immediately be grasped. What exactly is blessed each year of the eager and vulnerable pilgrims who make their way to Portugal's most sacred Catholic place? There you go. Look. That's wonderful. There's the podcast there. Easiest way to listen to it. Or you can subscribe to it from most podcasting platforms. Thank you very much. Andy Klein, so looking forward to hanging out with you this weekend and doing some filming. The Englishman, the Irishman, and let me let you into a secret. 2 New Yorkers go into a bar this weekend for our debut filming session in Arawera. An Englishman, an Irishman, and 2 New Yorkers go into a bar. It's going to be fun, and Andy is capturing it for us. Really looking forward to seeing you this weekend, having some fun doing that, and hanging out more generally over the weekend. Andy, have a good trip towards Arawera. Mr. S. Bon dia. Hold on a minute. Nearly missed you there, Mr. S. Sweden, at Sweden in Portugal. Bon dia. Are you talking about the 150-hour course that's government-sponsored? I mean the A2 for citizenship. And I think we are getting to this. Yes, that's the one. Okay. After the test, they will decide on what level of Portuguese you are. I think I am on A1. Okay, so good luck with that. I thought for some reason there was another cultural test for people, but that is it, the A2 or the A1. But Anna, they're having the test this morning, a pre-test to see which level she should enroll on. And Bairande, yes, of course, we read that out earlier on. And that's the same, I think, for people all around the country this morning. I think there's rain everywhere. I'm just trying to look at which tab we have our weather. Yes, there it is, the weather. Let's have a very quick look at the weather. before we welcome Veronica onto the screen and do your comments, of course, before Veronica joins us in a few minutes. Let's go back and look at that weather, shall we? Because it is changing. I don't like to admit it. I want to be swimming in that sea in November with any gumpers who come and join us for that particular weekend. Let's have a look. I think Veronica, I don't know. Was that a yes or a no for swimming? Yes, she wants to swim in November. Fantastic. That would be great. That would be wonderful if a few of us do that and get in, have a dip in the bay here. So in Lisbon at the moment, 20 degrees with broken clouds. This is your Portugal weather with Dynasty Homes. 22 degrees the high today. 18 it started off at a low and raining in the capital. 68, of course, in Fahrenheit currently. In Porto, 19 degrees and raining. It will be the high of 19, currently 16 with broken clouds. Coimbra, similar picture around the country, a little bit warmer in Coimbra. It could rise to 21. Faro, however, we saw the pictures earlier on, and they matched the weather forecast, although some rain is forecast. Currently sunny and 17 degrees, could rise to 22, but there is a chance of some rain in Faro. In Braga, isn't it weird doing the weather? We've just not had to bother about this, have we, all summer? It's just sunny. Who cares? But look at this. It's more important to look at the weather at this time of year. Braga, 20 degrees the high today. Rain forecast there as well. 15 degrees currently with overcast clouds. Light rain forecast in Aveiro and Beja, Castelo Branco. Rain all over the country as you scroll down, and I will put that. So if you want to dig deeper into your district, I mean, pretty much rain all over the place. Yep, everywhere. Raining in Portugal today at some point, according to the forecasters, and even in the Azores, although it does rain fairly frequently, doesn't it, in the Azores over there, or the Azores, and in Madeira. The only place escaping rain today, it will be a comfortable 16 degrees at its height, 10 degrees at the moment, starting out at 8, proving that all over Portugal, wherever you are, it's the cool country with the hot sun. Let me share that weather link for you if you want to bookmark that. It's a nice jaunty way, a visual way of looking at the sun, sometimes the sun, but certainly the weather every morning. A good day having to play detective. My friend's car has no insurance or annual inspection papers in it. Oh, yikes. So I can't drive till we find them or get copies. Daughter and cousin helping. Brain trauma, not easy. Detective work, absolutely. Deagle's in. Bon dia, Carl and Gumpers from a blue sky. Very cold at 7 a.m. Belfast at 6 degrees. I'm away to hospital checkup, so we'll watch later. I've thumbed up already. Cheers, Deagle, and good luck with your hospital visit. Esta chova boche aqui em Alcobaça. So we have weather reports are one thing, aren't they? But the actual fact and truth is that it is raining. In Alcobaça. Health workers on a 48-hour strike across Northern Ireland started at midnight. Over 8,000 vacancies across our health system, and we're paid approximately 2,300 less than England. Scotland and Wales doing the same qualified job. That's an awful situation. Good luck with that. And solidarity with the workers there, who sound like they are demanding, but they deserve a better deal there. And what a shame with this industrial action. I hope the government can see that it's the people that get hurt in these situations, and it's time to do something about it. Dougie's in, Pam's in, and there's a real shortage of property in Alcobaça. We even had flyers through the door asking if we want to sell. No way! How very dare you? We do not want to sell our property. Yeah, this is a problem. There is a massive supply problem. What are the solutions? We'll talk about them on the 3rd of October. My return to Portugal. We'll be back on Algarve next month through to November. Fantastic, Dougie. Great to hear that. I heard Twitter referred to as the Black Kiss recently. Made me laugh. Yeah, I have to say, with the selection of follows that I've made, I really enjoy scrolling through Twitter. I tend not to focus too much on the gloom and doom and have a really good time of it over there. I had a really, really good scroll last night. Not gloom and doom, but inspirational stuff. It is possible over there. I take my leftover box when I go out to eat. Very good. Cuts down on plastic waste. There's another Portuguese life hack. That's fantastic. And food portions. Food portions I find more generous north of the Algarve. Alentejo is noted for larger portions. When they should have that on their sign, shouldn't they? Welcome to the land of larger portions. As you enter Alentejo, when traveling with my wife, we learned to order accordingly. What, children's meals or one between two adultos there? And Antonio F, good morning. Bon dia todos, despite the rain. So everyone experiencing a bit of rain. Antonio's got to go. and jump on a Zoom call. Feliz Quinta-feira. Nothing personal. For my guest now in the Algarve, American in Portugal, Veronica, how are you doing?
Hello. How are you? I'm doing well.
Bom dia, querida.
Bom dia. Bom dia, Portugal.
Oh, look, it does. I'm thinking maybe it doesn't look like that behind you this morning.
It does. I just
Does
sent
it
you a
really?
video because there's a
fantastic.
little bit of wispy clouds, which we love little wispy clouds because then when you take a picture, it looks so glorious. Like a blue sky is beautiful, but it can be boring, right? So we've had some little puffy clouds.
No. Hold on a minute. Blue sky can be boring. That is not my experience yet. I'm from the UK. I look forward to that day in a funny sort of way where I say blue sky is boring. That's more of a Californian thing, isn't it? Oh
yeah.
Look at that blue sky again and that beautiful light in the sky. I don't know. What should we do today? Go work out on the beach, make a movie? I don't know. It's so boring. But no, I am not there yet. Blue sky boring.
That's always a fun thing to talk about too. The differences, even when people are looking at real estate and where to live, the British versus the Americans, and then especially the Californians, is you're looking at somebody who just give me sunshine and I'm happy. I got these historic towns. I'm from the UK. We are history, you know. And then you've got American going, oh, look at these sweet little, you know, old towns, and where other people may see an old town as, you know, buildings falling down or whatnot, and give me the new development. The Americans are like, we don't care if a building's falling down.
Exactly. So you're Brit. I mean, you know, Jerry, for example, notably says, Jerry of Expats Portugal, be hanging out with him tonight on the call, and Jerry says, another castle. Can you imagine an American saying that? So his wife organizes trips out, like, oh, we'll be going to the castle. Oh, really? He's Irish. He's Irish. That's right. That's right. And you know, the Brit is like, you know, so how can I help you with your real estate search? You see these shorts? I want to be able to wear these every day, okay? And these flip-flops. Yes. That's
exactly it. And so I know Americans come here because I work with a lot of Americans moving to Portugal, and they come here and they're just over the moon with these sweet, authentic villages, and a castle is like a dream.
Yes.
And you know, you show that to British and they're like, so how close can you get me to the beach?
Yes, exactly. Right. We'll go to that. All right. So to give you a little break, Veronica, from those intense never-ending blue skies, this is a slight contrast. I think it's quite nice and mild where you are, but this is what you're looking out of your window.
Here it is in the Algarve this morning in Villarreal de Santo Antonio, and this is why we love to live here. It's sunny. They're getting ready for the fair in a couple of weeks, and there's the Amante, Spain. 75 and sunny like it is every day.
That's a great American-style weather forecast. 75 and sunny.
It's 75 and sunny. You know, one time when I was landing, I stole that from a pilot. I was landing in San Luis Obispo, and we have this little tiny airport, and people don't even know it exists. It's between Santa Barbara and Monterey. Amazing county.
I've driven past it. Yeah, lovely part of California. Yes.
Oh, it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. That's where we escaped when we escaped LA. We escaped to San Luis Obispo. And as we were landing on one of our trips abroad, we were landing, and the pilot goes, oh, and welcome to San Luis Obispo, where it's 75 and sunny like it is every day.
That's fantastic. Yes, the Brits now want to move there. Excellent stuff. Okay, this is the weather in, we'll hear from Carl personally at around past, but this is his weather report this morning. Hey, we are both talking then, thinking we could be heard. What were you saying there, Veronica?
It's really raining. Like, rain is happening right now.
Cats and dogs. Yes. Gatos.
I thought it was in the forecast, but I didn't know you're actually looking at rain.
That's a view from his front doorstep at the moment. And he's got a typically British. So Americans, 75 and sunny. Mancunians in the UK, bloody miserable here. It's what he's saying. We'll see him at 9:30. He can tell us himself. Right. So how's life? How's life in VRSA? You been busy? You've got a lovely unofficial pocket listing for us. Busy, it sounds like, but not to the expense of your fabulous social life, Veronica. What have you been up to?
Oh my gosh, there has been so many festivals and
Yes.
so much going on and just crazy, crazy. And I can't remember, but I think I met one of your friends, or maybe we crisscrossed. People send me friends to meet up with, and
Oh yeah.
um,
Did you get to meet Frank?
I can't remember.
No, if you met Frank, you would have remembered. I mean, I hope he's not watching, because if you did meet him and you've said you don't remember, he will be heartbroken.
I think he was staying in Tavera, though, right? Was he the one in Tavera, or is that
Yeah,
another?
I've got a feeling that if you probably didn't, because yeah,
I would
he
remember and give you grief.
he makes quite the impression, generally speaking. I'm hanging out with him. Oh, I've got a visual. See if this helps. He
Okay.
and I will be going to the beer festival, at the Cerveja na Aldea in Castanea de Pera. Not this coming weekend, but the one after. Busy time. It's not over yet. This whirling social life of ours, and we'll be doing some outside broadcasts like this. Veronica, do you recognise him? He's the one on the left here.
No, I don't think
You don't remember
so.
those dashing good looks. Okay, so then I don't
There's
think.
been a lot of people here this month, and I tell people,
Yes.
don't come in August. Don't come in August.
Yeah.
Hide in August. Leave in
Yeah.
August. People forget all of Europe travels in August. Okay, like the whole country. People get off an entire month. Things that are unheard of in America, that you get the whole month off. You know, because
Yeah, if Americans say that, I was off for all of August. I'm so sorry to hear that. Were you ill? No, I was just having a European style holiday break. But it doesn't happen, does it, in America?
that's called being unemployed.
Oh dear, that kind of holiday. Yikes! Yeah.
If you took your vacation time for a full month, they'd fire you. I mean, unless you have some business that literally can shut down in August, they
Yes.
don't really want you to take your vacation. Some
No,
companies are
right.
moving forward and encouraging it, but most of them just buy you out. So you continue to work, and then they give you money at the end of the year that covers that week you didn't take, and kicks up your tax bracket so you can pay more taxes for the whole year. And
Yes, that doesn't
really
sound entirely fair, but it does seem to be the lubrication of the American wheels, doesn't it?
yeah.
Just suggest money, just throw some money at it. Yeah, I think, to be fair, I was listening to a podcast yesterday where just more and more people are saying, I just don't want my work life to dominate anymore, and people are
Yeah.
just I've had enough of this, haven't they? So
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever going to get to be like Europe, like you were saying, where people take all of August off in America, unless they're forced to, in the way you describe. Yeah, you're telling people not to come here in August because of that. But is the same true of September now as well?
September, I've noticed a huge slowdown, like
Right.
immediately. Like the first week, it started slowing down. Now the kids are back in school because most of them, at least around here, started last Monday, or was it this Monday? This month went by fast.
I think
Weren't
the
we just
kids.
talking
Yeah.
a week ago? Like I think it was.
Is it? Yeah, absolutely. It's the 21st of September already, everybody. What? Yes.
I was like, what do you mean it's the third week? I'm looking at my calendar and going,
Yeah.
oh, I have a Good Morning Portugal coming up, and I'm like,
Yes.
well, how is it the third week? That means we have 1 week left, right?
Yes, that's
Traditionally,
true.
if there's
Yes.
3 weeks, 4 in a month, if I've done my math right, we have
You
1
have.
week left, and I hate
Yeah.
math.
We do. We have one more. We have one more week of September left. It's not one of those months where there's another week. No, this is it. Third week of September. How did that happen?
But if you want to feel like you're in chaos and craziness, we're having the fair. We always have this beach fair that lines up on the front of my out front of my window and goes all the way down to kind of like where the boatyards and stuff are in the north of town. And it is pure chaos for weeks. Like it is just
When's
all
this?
comes over. It is ding, 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 ring, ring, ring. And it is the full, some good shopping too. Everybody, I don't know what it is. There's a lot of sock vendors, and everybody comes to Villarreal to buy their socks for Christmas for the year at this fair.
Yes. Yeah, I get the idea of what sort of fair it is, and there are lots of bras, socks.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It is the. I
Talk
don't.
it out.
Yes. It's,
I'm sure it's the same people that go from town to town.
I
You
think you're
probably
right.
get it up there
I think
because
they
they
are.
bring in all their caravans with, here's this ride and this ride, which personally scare me. I'm like, you just brought that into town, pop that up, and you're spinning people around on that thing. Like,
Yes,
where's that?
there is that as well, isn't there? So you can look forward to that.
The bumper
Hopefully,
cars.
a hopefully well-maintained fairground ride, and as much value underwear as you could possibly want to buy. When is
Yeah.
this happening?
This is October 10th. I think I have to double check the date, but if you just look up, now this is a big tip. I'm sure you already know it. If you want to look up anything on any city's website that's actually posted on their website, you do CM, so the letter C and M, then a dash and the name of the city. For us, Villarreal de Santo Antonio is so big, so they put vrsa.pt. And that will get you the main page of almost every city in Portugal. And then you can look usually in the right corner, there's like an events page. You can have Google translate if they don't have English, which a lot of them have some English, but then when you click in it, it's all kind of messed up and half. Because we know everybody learned Portuguese here, right?
Yes, some more than others. Now we're going to do this live. We're going to do the first suggestion
Okay.
we get. We'll do it live on the screen because this would be a great clip from the show to show people how
Yeah.
to find out what's going on in their camera, which is
Yeah.
what the CM presumably Câmara Municipal is CM. Okay, Pete is saying so. Get your request in. Who's going to be first to tell us which one to look for? It's up to you. Bon dia alegria, James, Big Tony, and Big Tony. Big Tony and oh yes, of course. James, Susan, Pam, raining cats and dogs here today, which means pickling time. Does that mean you're drinking more and maybe even shopping for a freeze dryer? How is everyone? Living the dream. We're doing great, thanks, Pete. Did you? Oh yeah. So did you meet a dude with a shark tooth necklace? Did that distinguish anyone in your recent social life? No, you definitely didn't meet Frank then. I think is the suggestion there. What's this? Hang out with Andy Klein. Why is that a lol? I wonder. Is there an unintended pun in there somewhere? What's this? You can hang out with Andy Klein or hand out with me in decline. I think the meds have kicked in, Doug, this morning.
Don't do crack in the morning.
There you see, great advice. Not just about real estate, Doug, but don't do crack.
Don't make me spit coffee out my nose. My computer's right there. Doesn't feel good either.
I love how green it's getting. Ooh, lots of vitamin C, Antonio F. I also prescribe a good festa or three. You see, it's not. You were saying there, Veronica, about the next festa in VRSA in October, and I saw a video, one of the funny videos about Portugal. I've seen a couple of irreverent ones that are really hilarious. And this guy was saying, Portugal, the hardest partiers in Europe, and it's so true, isn't it? We don't have the global reputation for that, and I use the term the collective we here because I'm certainly not a part of that in any meaningful way because I can't keep up. But
No.
the capacity for Portuguese partying is incredible, isn't it? It really is, and you only get to realize this when you see these ceaseless chain of events. Is one way of describing it throughout the year. Because I said in the beginning, I said, like the festive period, which to me in England means Christmas. The festive period here means every day, all week, all month, all year, pretty much, doesn't it? Sorry. So back to your social life, Veronica.
No. I was just saying they have so many events and they start late. And for me, I like to go to bed and get a good night's rest. Maybe I'm old, but these people out with their kids and they start at 10, 11 p.m. So, the party's going on till midnight. Some of the bands don't even start until 10 p.m. or midnight. Fireworks on the river start at midnight. And oh my goodness, this past month, either Spain's got fireworks. There's a huge fair in Spain we went to, and they've got fireworks, which is great because out my window, they reflect on the river. So I can see their fireworks and the reflection. Then down right here, exactly right there, they launch fireworks and they light off cannons too. If you have dogs and you're in a town that they're going to do fireworks, I don't know what it is with the cannons, but they're going off at midnight and it feels like you're being bombed. And then we have this great religious parade and we go down to our little cafe. It literally one weekend was like 5 different festivals in each little town around here. And we're like, which one are we going to go to? And it's nice to stay in your own town. And we're like the losers leaving at 11 p.m., right? We're thinking we made it out late. We're like, they're just coming out with their kids. And the babies are even like awake. Yay! Yeah. Going on the rides. I'll have to send you a clip where one of the rides over there that I was talking about, it's spinning around like this and doing this and bouncing. And the kids are running across it. And you're like, are they trying to bounce them off of this machine? But they don't care. It's midnight. They're running around and who cares?
Happy times. It's the culture. It's the culture, isn't it? It takes a bit of an adjustment. Yeah. Do you think you'll ever adjust fully to the late night culture here?
Well, I think we have to learn to siesta. I keep saying I'm going to do it, but the Portuguese don't do it as much. They'll take a lunch for a couple hours, so if you're going around shopping and at lunchtime, you're like, where is everybody? They actually leave. And, unless it's a big like corporate shop or they have a lot of employees, they'll leave for lunch for a couple hours and come back. I've had people come into Villarreal and say, why is it closed up all the time? I'm like, what time are you going? Are you going from like 12 to 1 or 1 to 3? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, they're home at lunch with their families because it's a real town. They're not catering to the tourists. Yep. They're not filling up all the cafes. Their kids are going from school to, their actual home and having a proper meal. Now in Spain, they'll go for 3 or 4 hours. I don't know when those people ever come back. We'll hop the ferry to go shopping and have tapas. And we're like, it says the store opens back up at 3, then it's 4, then it's 5. You're like, whatever.
And there is a sense of Portuguese pride around that, I think, isn't there? Partying
harder
nice and sleeping less. It is good to rest, to be fair, yeah. Because I saw a news headline about Portuguese people working the longest hours as well, and that would be part of it as well. Is that, well, I mean, nice if you have the luxury of being able to have a rest in the afternoon. It looks like a lot of Portuguese workers don't. So yeah, our hope is that we can get that balance better. But not at the expense of the partying, of course. For example, Bairrandi, 13 events just in our area. That's in the Bairrada.
Yeah.
It's awesome, isn't it, says Pete. And yet, sure is, says Bairrandi. The guys loving it. Apparently at the weekend, although, no, Pete, before we mentioned what happened last weekend, soup festas are just awesome. Love hundreds of drunk people bouncing around to fans with soup in their hands. We enjoy it while it lasts. If the EU health and safety folks come in, it might be like you can have a soup festival or you can have a music festival, but you can't have both at the same time. And forget about those kids walking across bouncing trampolines at midnight. No health and safety, says Pete. Gutted last week that we didn't stay dancing until 4 a.m. or take Carl's kids. That's Carl Hyde, who you'll see at 9:30, off to see cows, chickens, and goats that were on display all night as well. Where else in the world can you get to see livestock in the early hours of the morning? Love you, Portugal. This is fantastic. Right. We better have a look at these listings, haven't we? Now we found out about your social life. It's always good to catch up on that and find out what's going on in VRSA.
Well, that's the fun thing. Houses you can show and click around on. What do we really live? What's our life like here? That's what I love about your show is we're talking about what's real.
But you do need somewhere to go to after when you need to sleep and eat.
You need a house when you're tired, when you need a siesta.
You do.
I saw someone siesting on a bench right there the other day, and he wasn't homeless or anything. He's just like, yeah, it's a good place to take a nap.
That might have been me. I deleted the picture of me only this morning of sleeping on a bench in Caldash. Let's have a look then. You're allowing us to take a look at this. It's not going up until the weekend. Is that right? We've got
yeah. So it's a pocket listing. We already let all of like the locals and my expat community see it, and a couple of people are interested, but we have to do the right thing for the seller, right, to put it out to as many people as possible, but at least those that are in the know get a little bit of a preview, and if they want to jump on it and get started with financing or whatever, they get kind of first pick. Plus we know them and we know they're serious. A lot of these agents will bring people through that they haven't pre-qualified, and they're not going to buy for a year or 2 or 3. I have 400 on my list working with me saying, we're going to buy in 2025, 2026. So to show people properties that far out is crazy because they're not going to be available.
Waste of everyone's time. 400
It is.
people. You've got 400 people looking for property a few years out.
Well, they're all over the place.
Wow.
And that's why I do try to encourage people not to come in August. It's too hot. It's too crowded. You're going to spend a fortune here. Come now, September, October, November.
Amazing.
December,
Okay.
markets.
All right, but only jump on this, as Veronica says, if you're serious. Here we are, privy to a little bit of video that won't make general circulation until the weekend. Let's take a look. It's a 3-minute video, so sit back and enjoy this.
This is the first informal, formal open house. It's just before it gets listed to the public. You get a sneak peek before it goes open market.
A bathroom.
And then the ceilings are very high also. These are like, Raquel, you're almost 6 foot tall, right? So this would be like 12 foot, 15 foot, 15 foot
And
ceilings.
can you see the length of the wall?
Yeah, it shows how thick the wall is. Because, the back bedroom was just very peaceful.
Yes.
Yeah, now you can see this is a full bedroom. Much.
And so quiet, the area.
Yeah, well, what's nice is from here, here's your ensuite with those gorgeous doors.
And we're going to have a wardrobe there.
Yeah. And then, yeah.
Isso é muito bom. Dá uma arrumação. Dá uma arrumação.
so important to have the drawers under the bed. Otherwise, it's just wasted space. It's really good. Let me get one from this side.
This door is original.
Such beautiful work on the beautiful home. Okay, bye-bye.
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 Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Ciao, Bella. And then there's downtown right there. It's 2 blocks from downtown. Is that... Which cafe is that one? Yeah, this is historic for sure.
Great video. Love
Well,
that.
it was just a few clips because that's not going to be professional, but I wanted to show what people are doing looking around. I couldn't really get upstairs enough. It was too crowded. There was too many people up there, but she's taken a historical house and kept it historical inside. So those thick walls on the inside, you could take it down instead of just reinforcing it, and you could take it down and just put in a few beams. But she chose to reinforce around the entire old wall and then have those cut throws. So she kept it traditional. And in the sink, that sink was like a 300-year-old sink that she kept.
Oh, wow.
So I put a couple of the before photos but she kept as much character as she could. And it's not a huge house, but it's a sweet house for somebody single or that just needs a small office, because upstairs around the back above the jacuzzi is a 1 bedroom. It's going to have 3 bathrooms. The upstairs isn't finished. Oh, perfect. The upstairs isn't finished yet. Inside where the ladder is, those are going to be actual stairs. And then they'll put in another bathroom. But she's waiting to see if people want to buy it and then customize it. So look at that.
Is that these are the before pictures?
Uh-huh.
That's the same archway, isn't it? That's incredible.
Isn't that crazy?
What I really like. Sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just thinking, you feel like you're on holiday there, don't you? And so you step out onto the street. And I lived in Yorkshire, in Sheffield, where I had a house, a terraced house that went out onto the street. And it was so great, for a particular time in my life when you could step out and we even put the sofa outside on the street sometimes. I had a cup of tea and we felt part of the community. And you get that, you just straight out into the action, aren't you, in that particular house that we're looking at here. And these are the before pictures, obviously. And then you've got this kind of cocoon of a bedroom at the back, haven't you, behind those thick walls, where you come away from the noise and vibrancy of the street and go into that snug, cozy little bedroom at the back there, and also have a plunge in that pool as well, which I thought was a pond at first, but it's actually it is a jacuzzi plunge pool, isn't it?
It's a jacuzzi, and then the window, if you're looking at that photo there, the window from the kitchen looks down. See that? Yeah, that was the original sink. But yeah, the window there on the right, that looks down. So there's the bedroom to the left through the archway. And then to the right is that little jacuzzi. So when you're at the kitchen, and she's got it with the little waterfall thing.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, so she saved that. I mean, they had to really rehab it, but they saved that from the original home.
Incredible. And it's, she's done it beautifully, hasn't she? Very sensitively. There's the view down to the cafe. So you could just walk and go and get your morning coffee or sumo laranja. And a lot of nice exposed timber there. That's beautiful. Really like this. And the plunge pool jacuzzi that you can get into when it gets too hot down there as well. That's fantastic, isn't it? Great little listing.
She's done a beautiful job. She's rehabbing some homes by the palace in Palos de Arcos. So they're attached to the side by Estoril. Do you know Pasos de Arcos?
Don't know that. No.
Well, it's this big palace where the king used to sit in his palace and look down. It's not too, you can see the bridge, the Lisbon bridge there, and the king could look down from the palace to see all the ships coming in to make sure they pay their customs, because there's a little restaurant that was the original customs house. And so the king wanted to see all this wealth that was coming through. And, this is like one of the most famous palaces in Lisbon and in Portugal. And so she's taken the 3 kind of annexes to the side and rehabbing those. And she's going to sell those. And again, keeping everything traditional to keep those walls from falling down. You've got to do them by hand. So what someone would do with a jackhammer somewhere else, there it takes like 9 months. So she does a very authentic rehab to the house. And even the tiles in the front, some people are like, oh, they're not beautiful, you should change them. I was like, no, they're 300 years old.
I have no problem with those tiles on the front there. Yeah, absolutely. Really nice.
And you don't know it walking by that street that there, aren't just boxes inside, but, there's 2 stories, one with the whole studio up those back stairs, and one from the inside where there was the ladder is going to be a big staircase, and another whole huge floor. And that's quite a large kitchen living room area for Portugal for the smaller little houses. So when people are saying,
absolutely, I mean, it's a good house for entertaining, isn't it? And just open plan on a small scale. But I love the way that that's been done.
Yeah. And when she was holding up that little christening gown, she found that in the dirt when they were like ripping up the floors and laying down the floors. There was this little baptism dress, and it was just dirty and black, and she had it professionally cleaned, and she's going to put it like in a little box or something. So somebody had left their baptismal dress, and it's just like
lovely. What a very thoughtful lady and renovator developer there. Fantastic. Good question, Doug. Why do homes in Spain and Portugal sound so echoey inside? Is it because there are no carpets? That will be it, wouldn't it? I mean, hard surfaces, ceramic floors, and so unforgiving. for the phone. When you drop the phone here in Portugal, you really want to have a case, don't you? A protective case on your phone and a screen protector, because as we found in this family, the floors here, they are echoey. And you get this, of course, don't you, in the cafes when people are scraping their chairs across the floors and the cafe is full up. It can get really noisy and difficult for people with a sensory overload. But yeah, I think it is exactly that, Doug. You can soften it, can't you, with some furnishing. Rugs work well, curtains work well, and big old sofas will work well too. But yes, of course, with those hard surfaces, they will be echoey. Typical thing to do. What's that? Kingy thing to do. Look down on the population with his hand out for their money. Oh, bit of politics. Cheers, Doug. Tile and concrete, walls and floors, few curtains, lots of hard surfaces, and few no soft ones. Well said, Banana Slug. We're going to welcome Carl to join us. He's already been mentioned this morning because he was out and about in central Portugal, and we've seen his weather report. Let's welcome him to the screen now. Carl Hyde from the agency.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Let me get rid of that. That'll be easier.
Let me adjust a little. Sorry. Hello.
How are you, mate? It's not
I'm
looking
good,
like that, is it, where you are this morning?
No, it's not like that. Actually, the sun's just starting to come out again now, but it's been rather grey and miserable since the start of September, really. You know, the first sort of weekend in, it's been on and off rain and grey skies, which is no fun at all. It reminds me of being back in Manchester.
So
Mancunian.
That's
no good at all.
No, absolutely not. He didn't come here for that. So how are things, Carl?
Really good. Yeah, really good. The kids went back to school this week, so you know I feel like I've gone deaf. It's fantastic. So, yeah, it's true. Look, I know you were speaking about it earlier in the show, and my eldest was off for 12 weeks. 12 weeks.
Great holiday.
Yeah, great for him, you know. But for me, it started to wear a little bit thin. So yeah, they all went back finally together on Monday. It feels good.
Picture the
It's a
scene.
bummer when your kids are around all day.
Yeah,
It's
it's hard work, you know. You don't really get much rest, you know, and it's great, you know. And then when the weather's good, you know, it's easier. But it, you know, at the end of it, it does. You start thinking, come on now, you need to get back to work and get back to the real world. So yeah, we had sort of a final weekend away, as you mentioned earlier, up with Pete in central Portugal there. We didn't have the weather, but it was a beautiful place. So yeah, a nice way to cap off the summer holidays for them. They didn't want to come home, so
how wonderful! That's
nice.
a sign. That's a sign of a good getaway, isn't it? That's wonderful. Pete's legendary hospitality there in central Portugal. So were you getting to that stage where it was like, Dad, what? I mean, sorry, what?
I think I'm always at that stage, to be honest with you.
You're like, what? Why are you bugging me?
What now? No, I'm sorry. What is
I was
it?
like that on week one, so yeah.
All right. You can answer this question, not just real estate. We got the pros in from the Algarve and Lisbon, of course. We got Carl with the agencies. You can see on his screen there, and he's going to show us another beautiful property. We're blessed this morning with some beautiful images. We do like to do this from time to time. Some people think we do this all the time on the Good Morning Portugal show. We certainly do it when Veronica and Carl are around, who will be taking part. Thanks, guys, for stepping forward immediately on this invitation to join this expert panel webinar, October the 3rd, 8 o'clock in the evening. Questions answered, concerns addressed, getting real on Portuguese real estate. So thank you both for stepping forward straight away. I said, do you want to be involved in this? Yeah, absolutely. Because it is an interesting time, and it remains, oh, look at that mug. It remains an interesting time, does it not? Okay.
I forgot to send my address.
Do you know what? Do you know what happened in my mind there? I was thinking, that's fantastic. Carl's got a Good Morning Portugal mug. Oh, no, I don't think I've sent Veronica one. Aye! So let's put that right after the show.
It's my fault. Miss M asked me for my address, and
Okay.
I didn't send it because I use my nail lady because they always deliver when I'm gone here.
Let's do that. Okay. Let's have your address and we'll
Note
put
to
that
self.
right. And you'll get one of the Be Portuguese About It mugs, which well, it says Good Morning Portugal on the one side and then Be Portuguese About It on the other, and they are available from our website. They're also available on YouTube. We've got a Shopify thing going on there. Yes. And where was the other place? Oh no, if you're a GMP VIP and you get involved in the community, when you get to a certain level, you get a free mug. Did somebody see something then? What
Then she
Being manhandled.
knows.
comedy, isn't it? Comedy gold. Are you joining us on the screen, Mrs. M?
No, I need to brush my hair.
You need to brush your hair. Okay, all right. All right.
Be back in a minute.
She's back in a minute. Okay, fantastic. Yes, I think you don't have to mention her name when she arrives. That's brilliant. With coffee too. Fantastic. Where were
I
we?
was just gonna say she's like a genie.
She
Genie in
is
the
a genie.
bottle.
She is my genie. So we're doing the expert panel webinar on the 3rd of October. Vitor Costa will be joining us as well. He's just announced that last night too, which is great. Others may join us. Where was I going? I think I was going to talk to you about North American shepherd's pie. Because I know this is what have they done? What have the Americans done here, Carl? North American shepherd's pie. I think that's something they. Oh dear, look, we're in trouble now. Where's my mug? Oh no! Could you all just?
He definitely deserves a mug. Come on.
He does, doesn't he? All right, Carl. All right.
Shopify.
Advocating
On
on
YouTube.
Bobby's behalf here. You can have my mug. I'll bring it to you at the weekend, Bobby. Definitely. Okay. All right. How many do you want, Bobby? I guess is the right question here, isn't it? And yeah, happy International Day of Peace, everyone. There was a little bit of a mug gate. Now we're calming down. But yeah, International Day of Peace. Well done. Yeah, thank you for that. I think this is another thing that the Americans might be claiming of course, that's a British dish, isn't it, Carl? You must have eaten that as a kid growing up in Manchester.
Absolutely. I still make it from time to time. I'd like to know what they're doing to one of our national dishes.
Probably putting ketchup on it, right? So we
Probably,
do.
yeah.
No, we don't put ketchup on things. No, that's like a fallacy. That's maybe that's East Coast. In the West Coast, it's all fresh salads and fresh
Avocado in the West Coast.
on it.
Avocado on your shepherd's pie, or with
He's probably right. Yeah, that's more like, yeah, you're probably right. Probably like where you would have the potato. They're like, oh no, that's a carb, and then you put a
no carbs here. Right.
This could be the start of a trend. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Well, I'm eating carbs.
Now there is a difference, of course. Cottage pie and shepherd's pie. The shepherd's pie is got lamb in it, hasn't it? Obviously, because it's a shepherd's pie, and the cottage pie. Because cottages are made out of beef in England. That's why it's called.
Oh, okay.
Right down to the beef curtains hanging in the cottage window, I would say as well. Okay, so I think they have stolen this from us, have they not?
Yeah,
What
but
do
it's
they do with it?
simple. Kind of comfort food if you're having rain.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I would say for those of you who don't know, I think the question was, Pam asked, what is North American shepherd's pie? They've just basically taken our pie, which is not a pie, to be fair, because it's got mashed potato on the topping, not a crust. It's not a pie crust. It is lamb or beef ground with maybe carrot and peas in there, and mashed potato on the top. Do you put cheese on the top of yours, Carl? Ever is that allowed in your house?
What I normally do is grate some parmesan into the mash and just give it a bit of cheesiness, So not traditional in that sense, but tastes delicious.
Yeah.
I know what it is. My mother-in-law used to do that. Hi, Lois. She put in it in a big dish. What we did too, she put it in one of those big Pyrex glass dishes, and she put the meat on the bottom, and then the corn and some gravy, and then the potatoes, and then the cheese. For me, I don't eat cheese, so there's one little corner she would leave with no cheese.
No corn.
No what? No corn?
No corn.
Oh, that's right, because corn in Europe is for the pigs.
I think yes, exactly. We need to take this to the United Nations. I need to table a special motion about this. What's going on and the abuse of either shepherds or cottage pie across the new world. Okay, like
So
a
what do you put in instead of corn?
not like this is getting worse. Not like a casserole, flipping egg. What's going on here this morning?
This is not good. I'm not
This
impressed.
is terrible. No, let's move on, shall
Started
we?
it. Blame them.
All right, so just the one mug, so I don't feel it. Okay, Bobby, point taken. You will get a mug at the weekend. How many donuts as well on the donut run? From people are loving it, aren't they? The donuts that are coming from the Silver Coast. I think, Carl, you enjoyed those as well.
Well, the thing is, I didn't enjoy them. I took a very nice photograph with them. But by the end of the night, I finally got round to thinking, right, I'll have one of those delicious-looking donuts.
No.
They're all gone, so I've not experienced them.
Next time, mate. Next time, I will bring some for you. Okay, so let's move on away from the dangers of cottage and shepherd's pie this morning. Oh, well, I think we need 3 boxes of donuts. Oh my goodness. Okay, so one of those for Carl, maybe. Although
Why
Bobby
do
will
you
say
need
no.
donuts? Pastel de nata, hot from
No,
the lamb.
these are Bolos de
He
Belém.
did it.
These are Bolos de Belém. They are actually Portuguese donuts. Let's give Mrs. M her own camera as she joins us. Now, there's a problem here now, Carl, because Mrs. M's here. She's going to want this house, I suspect, that you're about to share with us. Can you fill us in? What's the background on this one?
Right, yeah. So we have a new development at the agency. It's in the Algarve. Just like to say before I go on to that, we have a resident expert here for the Algarve. So if you want to know anything about the Algarve, please speak to her first. But I'm going down to the Algarve on Friday. We've got a launch event for Prime Life, which is 30 luxury apartments in a little town or village called Carvoeiro. Consisting of, I think it's 25 T2s and 5 T3s, ranging in price from 425,000 to 550. They're ideal for Golden Visa. They're actually Golden Visa eligible, and we know that that's coming to an end fairly soon. So if anybody out there is looking for something to invest in that's Golden Visa, this would be perfect for that. It's kind of central Algarve. Yeah, you've got the map up there. Yeah, a great investment opportunity, really. You know, the process is, you know, if you buy the place, it's rented out for a lot of the year, but you do get use of it for 8 weeks of the year too. So if you're looking for that sort of Golden Visa option before they get rid of it, it's going to go very soon, then this could be perfect for you.
Right. Yeah. So are these built yet, or this is a plan?
They're not completed yet, but they are well under construction. I can actually send you a video in a second.
Oh, look at this, sexy and loving the interior.
Yeah, they're fully furnished. You know, they are luxury apartments. They've all got balconies, patios. You know, there's an on-site pool. So it's an enclosed area. You know, yeah, they look great. Let me just see if I can get this video for you. Sorry.
No worries. I'm happy to just salivate over these pictures. This is the property equivalent of Bolos de Belém. I am feeling a little bit covetous. I do like that interior. Do you, Mrs. M?
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's a bit neat and tidy for us, isn't it?
Well, with the renders. So, you know, I'm sure when you turn up there on your first day of your holiday, when you've rented it for 2 weeks, it will look just like that. But yeah, I'd be the same. My kids have been in there for an hour or two. It will look a little bit more disorganized, shall we say.
Yeah, I also have a few toys, clothes strewn over.
Underwear, hopefully. A trail of underwear from the front door through to the bedroom. That's the look.
We don't want any more children.
Okay.
Video there, Carl, but they're well underway, and the project should be finished probably going to be early 2025, but maybe a little bit earlier than that. So I'm going down to the launch event on Friday. Starts at 6 p.m. runs till around 9 o'clock. So if anybody is interested or wants to go to the launch event, they can contact me, and I can get them added to the guest list. So,
that is great. Good news. Yeah. Okay, so can you run the dates past us again?
Well, the launch event is what day? It's tomorrow. It's 6 p.m. tomorrow in Carvoeiro. So yeah, you know, if anybody wants to get in touch, if they want to go there, yeah.
I think Veronica, you're going to pop along to that. Victoria's thinking about it. I think in Carvoeiro.
I'm gonna try. Carvoeiro is about an hour and a half from where I'm at, and I'm going to Vila Moura today, which is already like an hour and some odd bits to get there. Yes. So if I haven't had time to think about it until I get off the call today. So
the thing is that I left it quite late to start asking questions, but it'd be great if you could be there, Veronica. Absolutely, absolutely, yeah, really would.
Now that it's a good point, isn't it? We have said this before, but this is worth saying again about the Algarve. Is that it's huge. You can't imagine that because you're on the Algarve and someone else is, you can meet for lunch. I mean, Veronica, you were saying there from VRSA to Carvoeiro, you can see at the bottom of the pink globe there is an hour away. How long does it take to drive from one side to the other, from Sagres, for example, over to the Spanish border, would you say?
Well, it would take a few hours. At least 2 hours, I would plan, because what's happening is Sagres has all those little roads to get to a main road. and you usually end up behind a camper or somebody going slow. There's no way to pass them. People don't pull over here. I guess there's no law in the EU. Like in America, if there's 5 cars behind you, you can get ticketed. Plus, it's just not nice. Like even if I'm just going slow for some reason, I'll pull over, let people pass whenever I can. Here, they're just like, you know, so it can take you a really long time to get from the point of Sagres up to where you can catch Highway 22. Once you're on Highway 22, you're flying, and that's the easy bit. And that goes straight into Spain, right? The bridge. So, I mean, I would plan at least 2 hours. There are people here saying, oh, we're going to go to Carl Hyde and we're going to go to Sagres, and then we'll just pop up to scenes. And I'm like, yeah, the map may look like this, but it's really, it's a lot.
Not true
so,
to life.
And I did send you a couple pictures of the coastline in Carl. It is stunning. It is, if I didn't live here, that would be the place I live, because it is so stunning. That beach and the cliff sides along there for hiking, the 7 hanging trails hike, that to me is just stunning. There's 2 big cliffs that the town is nestled down in. And what I'm seeing, this is just back about, what, a mile or 2 from, or a few kilometers.
It's 750 meters from the beach. So
really wow, great location.
That is great, isn't it? And I
Did the pictures come through?
Yeah. I'm just finding.
Oh
those
no!
now.
Did I give you one of the wrong ones?
No. I think you're good.
They're gorgeous.
I think you're good. And we'll roll the VT on that as well. But I remember we have been there, Mrs. M.
Have we?
Remember we went to see
it's
Derek
stunning.
there.
Yes.
And this is the famous town of is it the Black Ball, which is not a medical condition. It is a famous ball every year, right there, isn't it? I think.
wow.
The black and white. The black and white night. Oh my
Mm.
gosh. We go, when you go to that, it's so much fun. They also have a music festival that is out of control. It's like 30,000 people that can go to 8 different stages. And I'll send a link to that one real quick. Here's
superb. Okay, well, let's have a look. Is this the work in progress video that you sent to us, Carl?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not very long.
To me of the buildings, but you get a sense of the weather you're going to enjoy from that, don't you? The fizzing of the cicadas in the background and the intense heat. I love that. And we have been to this place and we did love it, didn't we? It was beautiful to walk down.
It was a really beautiful beach, wasn't it?
It was lovely. You walk down through the cliffs, don't you? To it kind of, you get to a point where it just gets narrower and narrower, don't you? And then it gets, it becomes a nice little higgledy-piggledy Portuguese village. It feels like at the end of the road. And this is the little beach.
It'll be my first time there tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to it. I travel down tomorrow afternoon, and I'm thinking of staying over for the night and just seeing what the place is like on Saturday. So
got to be done. Got to be done.
Yeah. Well, this time of year it does roll up. This is one of those towns where there's not a lot of year-round people, but it sounds like the ones that you're listing, they only get it so many weeks out of the year. How many?
If you know, there are multiple options, but you get it for 8 weeks of the year. There are other options on that people can look into. I have all those details, but I mean, for someone like me, that's actually perfect, because I like places when it's sort of out of season. You know, when we first came to Portugal, the first summer was so manic where we lived in Araguaia, and when the kids went to school in the middle of September, me and my wife went to the beach, and it wasn't empty, but it was, there was probably like 5% of what was there a week earlier. And I looked at my wife and said, "This is our time. This is when we can enjoy it." So I like those sort of off-season parts of the year, and I think a lot of other people do, and that's why this is probably perfect for somebody looking to make that kind of investment.
This is the beach you're talking about, of course. This is near to where you fell in love with that lifestyle and experience, Carl, by the sound of it.
Absolutely. All those years ago when I was dreaming about living here. So, it's great to be here.
Superb. Well, thank you for sharing that. I better put the link to it into the chat this morning. What else is going on in Lisbon? Presumably still demand outstripping supply?
I think generally, I mean, I think, to be honest, the market is a little flat, and we've just come out of the summer, obviously, when things really do slow down across the country. So you sort of get that jolt, you know, in early September when people start getting back to the real world. I certainly had a lot more inquiries the past week, a lot more people connecting to ask, you know, what is available, what can they do. A lot of people looking to rent. I always help people in the rental market here in Lisbon. You know, it's a lot of people's first step here, but it is getting busier. And I think once we see this Mais Habitação package finally wrapped up and done, yeah, I think that's any day now. I believe maybe I think I heard recently it's the 21st or the 22nd. It's the 21st today. But once they finally get some clarification on what the future is going to be and take some of this uncertainty away from people, I think it'll be full steam ahead again. But yeah, it's definitely picked up, you know, since August kind of thing.
Great. Okay, so we're back into busy times, and the window between now and Christmas, of course, where it will slow down a bit again.
No, actually, that'll pick up because people will come now, especially the retired, not the ones with kids, but the retired folks that are looking to live here. Because I do specifically say, I'm sure as Carl does too, don't come in August. Like there's just people that don't want to show their homes and renting them out, and especially the rental market, which Carl's fabulous. I've sent him clients and they love him, and he's done great. And thank you for matching us up so much because of you two then connected us, and then people are just happy, you know, when they come through my little YouTube and they haven't seen here yet or they haven't seen his, I can still send it to all of you. It's great.
The system works.
It's working. Fantastic. We've got the experts with us from the Lisbon and the Algarve this morning. Veronica, of course, and Carl Hyde. Let's go to a few comments. Next. I think we probably need to send some sort of SWAT team out to stop this happening.
Why? What's happening?
Suze is attempting, as a non-British person, to make a British roast with Yorkshire pudding from a Brit recipe. We need to see pictures, and we will give you. There is a support line if you want to call it. We'll give you
Yorkshire pudding. Yorkshire pudding is a difficult one.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
I mean, that is not for the novice or rookie, I don't think.
Like, there's so many. I mean, it's really, really ridiculously easy to make. But if you take one step wrong, it's.
If you just look at it in the wrong way.
I think there are levels. You can do a very simple, basic one, or you can start, you know, really going into it. So
I've tried doing all sorts of things.
You mean the roast or the pudding?
All of it, like every aspect of the dinner, you know what I mean? You can do.
Yeah, okay. So all the trimmings. Yeah, I would go baby steps. Go into that progressively there, Suze.
Yeah, and don't try any alternatives. Don't try to make it vegan or
vegan
free.
Okay, hold on a minute.
Or dairy free.
A vegan British roast.
No,
I mean, can you imagine anything more miserable?
A big tofu? What would it be?
Don't do it. Have some nice vegan food, but don't do a vegan roast.
Yeah, it's completely unacceptable.
Yeah.
Vegan Yorkshire pudding as well. My grandmother will be spinning in her grave. You could power Yorkshire based on that energy generated there. Anyway,
I've given up now. I just make them normally.
Good. Hot beef fat.
Oh, Carl, I did just send you the video on that night with the bands.
Can you have a look?
Yeah, we got to see the ball before we go.
Bands. It's like over 30,000 people, and we always book the hotel
always
right
take a
in the
look at your
middle.
balls. Happy to take a look at anyone's balls here on the Good Morning Watch. Okay, we'll come back to that. Sagres to VRSA, 165 kilometers, taking some 1 hour 45 on a good day. I pull over, says Suze.
A good day.
Or should that be jumper? No, it's different context. To get the speedy Portuguese off my tail, less stressful. When possible, that is always possible. A22 is your road for that. And so your Algarve expert, what's this? Pam showed us a property in Estoril, and your Lisbon expert showed us one in the Algarve. Yes, that's how we roll here. We're deeply collaborative here. So yeah, the black and white party. So let's have a quick look at this. Things have slowed down a bit behind the scenes here in terms of processing. But let me see if I can squeeze another video into the scene. It takes it one stage too far.
No.
Here we go. What's the matter? Are we all right there? Okay. All right. I'm gonna play the black and white ball video. See if things. Okay. We're all good now. Everybody just stay really
here.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Property was Villarreal de Sant Antonio.
Yeah, I thought it was.
All right. Yeah. All right. But good point, Pam. And here's the black and white ball. Should you want to go see it now? Oh my goodness!
I want one of those lit up moon
That's
balls.
the
They were
music
cool.
festival that launches off the summer, and then you get all the crazy that goes on from there, and it's just fun.
Looks amazing.
Wow, that's incredible, isn't it? The hairs on the back of my neck stood up there. So there you go. If you live in the development that Carl showed us, you could just walk down there to when it's on again. 30,000 people at an event. The extrovert lights up and wants to go again. The introvert wants a nap. Just hearing about it. Not the first go. My Brit friend loved it. Next time I failed on Yorkshire pudding. It is difficult. You just keep going with that, Suze. Just love Uncle. Great response to vegans. How long have you been vegan? Or shall I rephrase that? When was the last time you experienced joy? Come on. It's different strokes for different folks. I love a roast dinner and roast potatoes with Yorkshire pudding and gravy. No meat, though, as I am vegetarian. So still enjoying the Yorkshire pud part of that. Fantastic, Pam. Okay, I'm exhausted just seeing the video. The slow. Have I got time to do the quiz? It's a little bit of a serious one this morning, Mrs. M. Or do we need to go say our goodbyes?
We do need to go, but
I'll do it separately. It is a bit of a. It's not the most joyous of Portugal quizzes today.
Really? Why?
Yeah, it revolves around an addiction that 100,000 people have in Portugal.
Oh.
And that was the question: what is the addiction? But I'll do that separately a little bit
I know
later.
the answer.
Have you seen that? You saw the new
wine.
Yeah.
Good red
So
wine.
what was that, Veronica?
Good red wine and smoking.
It's not that one. No, it's a different one. But you can check that out later on. No, it's not that either. Okay, look, if you want my show to end, you got to stop making.
I'm so sorry, guys. I've got a show about
to start. Veronica, thank you so much. What are your final words this morning?
My final words. Welcome back after the fun and craziness of the summer, and things are back rocking and rolling in real estate. So come enjoy. At least in the Algarve, it's still sunny. This is really the time to come. It's
great
nice.
message. Thank you. And you, Carl Hyde, the man from the agency in Lisbon.
Prime Life, Caravaggio. If you'd like to get on the guest list, get in touch. Come and take a look at the place. It's a great opportunity.
All right, superb. Thanks, guys. Big round of applause for you. And we're going to do this again because it's so fantastic. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. See you on the webinar tonight.
Thank you.